Welcome to your next lesson on wedding attire and accessories. In this lesson, I will go over what attire everyone will need for the wedding, including the bride, the groom, the bridal party. I will also go over some of my favorite and relatively inexpensive places to purchase your bridal attire and accessories, what's trending right now in the fashion world, as well as how to save some money on your accessories. So let's dive in, beginning with the bride. The bride, most oftentimes than not, will require the most attire and accessories for the wedding day. She will need shoes, hair accessories, jewelry, undergarments, a garter, a jacket or a wrap, gloves, a sash, a purse, and a veil. When it comes to a bride's shoes, I wanted to go over a few tips to help you choose the right footwear for the day. A bride's shoes, besides the dress, are one of the most important accessories she will choose. Most likely, these are shoes you will wear once, maybe twice, once purchased. Keep in mind when making this purchase that if your dress is long, no one but you and your bridal party will see your shoes. So keeping it simple really is the route to go, in my opinion, for this accessory. You'll begin doing a lot of walking and dancing throughout the day, so you'll want to make sure you fit comfortably in the shoes you choose. If you're not accustomed to wearing heels, your wedding day is not the day to begin wearing them, trust me. You'll want to feel your best and most confident on your wedding day, and worrying about if you're going to trip down the aisle because you've never worn heels before or you're not comfortable in them should be the furthest thing from your mind on your wedding day. Take into consideration where you are getting married. Will it be inside or out? How much walking you'll have to do to get between the ceremony and the reception? And most importantly, are you comfortable walking and standing in a pair of heels for long periods of time? Now, I know I've got some fashionista brides that just must have that expensive pair of red bottom heels under their dress, and that's perfectly fine if you're comfortable wearing them. Just make sure you have a backup pair of flats to put on while you're sitting down eating dinner and tearing up the dance floor. Trust me, you'll thank me for this tip. If you're not used to wearing heels and are looking to get a few extra inches of height that day, you may want to consider a pair of wedges. They'll give you the height but will also keep you balanced if you're worried about how you will successfully walk down the aisle without tripping or looking like it's your first day in a pair of heels. In my opinion, it's a good idea to purchase your shoes prior to trying on the dress so you can wear them while you are dress shopping in order to tell where your hemline will need to be altered. Also, wearing them during this time will allow you to break them in a bit so they're not so tight or uncomfortable. Which reminds me of another good tip that I also tell my brides. Wear them around the house while you're cleaning or doing chores. This is the easiest way for you to loosen them up a bit and get accustomed to walking in them properly. So unless you choose to be a barefoot bride on the beach, choose shoes that are comfortable for you to wear, comfortable for you to walk in, and keep in mind you will only wear them likely on your wedding day and maybe another special occasion. So spending a ton of money on them is wasteful unless you're super into fashion and must have a very expensive custom pair of shoes for your special day. So now that we went over how to pick the right pair of shoes, let's go over your options for hair accessories. There are many options to choose from when you're selecting accessories to wear in your hair on your wedding day. There are combs, barrettes, headbands, flowers, decorative bobby pins, clips, and tiaras, just to mention a few. My best advice I could give you when you're looking to pick out your hair accessories is to first figure out how you want your hair styled. Knowing how you want to style your hair on your wedding day will be a major factor in deciding what types of accessories you may need to complete the look. If you know you want an updo or maybe a French twist, a nice comb or gemstone bobby pins would be a nice idea. If you're going flowy and curly, a flower crown or tiara might work. If you're not sure how you would like to style your hair, Pinterest is a great way and a good place to look for inspiration. Also, there you can see what types of accessories were paired with that certain hairstyle. In a perfect world, a bride goes in for their hair and makeup trial knowing exactly what they want and brings all of their hair accessories with them for a completed look. But listen, we all know we don't live in a perfect world. So if you're not sure what style you would like or have no clue where to start, ask your hairstylist. They should be able to tell you exactly what will look good with the style you choose, and you can purchase the accessories after your consultation so you have a better idea of what you may need. However, it is always my recommendation that if you don't have any hair accessories picked out, before your hair trial that you at least purchase your veil before the appointment and bring it with you so your stylist can use it to show you how your hair looks with the veil on and off so you get a bigger picture. I believe the jewelry you choose for your wedding day will complete your look, make you sparkle and shine on your big day, as well as pull together your dress, veil, and hair accessories. Now, I'm not talking high price tag items, ladies. These accessories do not have to be expensive at all, but they will definitely complete your look. You can keep it as simple as a pair of earrings and a necklace as pictured, or you can choose earrings, a necklace, bracelet, and ring. The choice is yours. I can tell you this much, when I got married, my mother-in-law purchased a lovely necklace and earring set as a gift for me, and I truly adored the set. However, because they were very bridal looking, I never wore them after my wedding day because I never had a reason to wear anything that blingy again. They still sit in my jewelry box a decade later, and I clean them every couple of years and put them back in there. If you're a bride on a budget, do yourself a favor and skip the high price tag jewelry stores and shop online for your jewelry. A simple strand of pearls and matching earrings gives any bride a very elegant appearance. Also, don't forget, if you have a tight budget, ask your friends to borrow some jewelry and wear them as you're something borrowed. This way, you save money on these accessories but still get to wear something you adore that makes you feel fabulous. Also, one last tip is to keep in mind the neckline of your dress. Sometimes if you have a high neckline, you may not need a necklace, maybe just a pair of earrings. If you're wearing your hair up, and a bracelet if your sleeves are short. Remember, with your hair down, nobody sees your ears, and with long sleeves, nobody really looks at your wrist. If you have a halter, sweetheart, v-neck, or spaghetti strap top to your dress, you'll most likely want to wear a necklace with these types of styles. You can always purchase a white tank top that mimics the style of your dress, whether it be a halter, spaghetti strap, v-neck, etc., to wear when you go to your jewelry shopping to get an idea of how the jewelry you're looking to purchase will coordinate with your dress. Also, another good tip, as mentioned before, is to wear that tank top to your hair and makeup consultation so that you get an idea of the quote-unquote completed look. I wanted to take a few minutes to discuss the importance of undergarments and your wedding dress and how to choose the right one for your needs. Undergarments are often overlooked by many brides, or they choose them because they choose a dress and they end up not working well with the style of the dress, only have to go back to the store and choose something else. What you wear underneath your dress is just as important as what you accessorize with it. My professional choice for undergarments is Spanx, and this is because they're affordable and have so many different options and styles to choose from. You'll want to choose your undergarments prior to going to your wedding dress fitting so that you can see and feel what you will look like in your dress. Now, you may be thinking, well, how do I know what undergarment to buy if I don't know what kind of dress I'll be choosing? And the answer to this is quite simply, actually. Choose an undergarment that is strapless or has removable straps, gives your body support where you need it, and is easy to get on and off when you need to use the ladies' room. My recommendation for brides is a strapless slip like this Red Hot Sleek Slimmers strapless slip for about $50 from Spanx. It will work with just about every dress so you have no strap showing, you're able to wear your own underwear comfortably underneath it, and not worry about any buttons or clasps to have to undo, and it slims the back, tummy, waist, and thighs. Now, you may not think you need any undergarments and can just skip this accessory, but I want you to trust me that there is a huge difference when you look at a woman in a dress with a proper undergarment and one without any undergarment. See what I mean? You want to look your absolute best on your wedding day, and a simple $50 undergarment can make you feel like you go from a 7 to 8 to a 10 plus for sure. It supports, slims, and smooths you in all the right places and makes you feel like $1,000,000 on your big day. Now, I'll only need a minute to go over garter belts because they are quite simple actually. A garter belt is an accessory worn by a bride on her wedding day that goes way back in tradition. In the Dark Ages, after the wedding festivities, the wedding guests would accompany the bride and groom back to their room to ensure the couple arrived safely and to wish them well. It was considered good luck for a guest to take home a little piece of the bride's clothing. Unfortunately, this evolved into guests tackling the bride, ripping at her dress, and hoping for a piece of her attire. As the time went on, garter belts were meant to help hold up a woman's stockings, and she would toss it, and it was considered good luck for whoever caught it. They were considered the next to be married. Eventually, the garter toss was incorporated into the wedding reception to keep guests at bay and pass on the good fortune. With the invention of elastic and pantyhose in the 1960s, garters no longer were needed to help hold up stockings or socks anymore, but yet wearing a garter and the garter toss ritual at receptions has remained a part of many modern weddings. Even those couples who choose not to do a garter toss at their wedding often purchase a garter to save as a special heirloom from their wedding day to remember that little piece of history. So you can choose to purchase one to keep as an heirloom, or you can choose to purchase one to wear underneath your dress on your thigh to be removed by your groom during the reception and tossed into the crowd of young unmarried bachelors for good luck at the neck and the neck to marry. Or you could choose to forego the accessory altogether. The choice is yours. Keep in mind that some brides who choose to do a garter toss will often purchase one that has a little something blue on it to keep that old tradition going as well. And while I mentioned it, let's take a minute to go over that old tradition in this section as well. There's an old English rhyme that was told to brides just before their wedding day that for luck, they should incorporate into their wedding attire or carry with them something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, and a sixpence in your shoe. And what this rhyme meant was include something old, like an heirloom piece of jewelry to ward off the evil eye, which was believed to cause infertility to the bride and protect any future children the couple would have. Something old was thought to represent continuity for the couple. Something new was worn to offer optimism for the future, and something new could mean anything from a veil to your shoes to jewelry or any other accessory you choose. Something borrowed indicated bringing luck to the new couple. By borrowing something from a happily married friend or relative to carry with you on your wedding day, it was thought to ensure that a little bit of the couple's good fortune would rub off on the bride and groom. Something blue, the color blue stands for purity, love, and fidelity, and also to ward off the evil eye. So brides were advised to incorporate something blue into their attire or accessories to symbolize those qualities for a successful marriage. And a sixpence in your shoe, and if you don't know what a sixpence is, it's a British form of currency that was placed in the left shoe of the bride to bless the marriage with wealth and prosperity, which if you're looking to incorporate this tradition into your wedding day, check out Sixpence on Etsy and you'll see all the cool things now being made to help you incorporate this timeless tradition. Now this is an accessory you may or may not need to purchase depending on your circumstances. If you have chosen a wedding in August on the East Coast, odds are you're not going to need a jacket or wrap to keep you covered and warm. However, if you booked your wedding in January on the East Coast to save some money on a venue, you best believe you're going to need some type of jacket or wrap accessory to keep you warm and from the elements. This is also something you might want to consider when you choose to have your wedding during cold winter months for your bridesmaids as well to keep them warm, and with the right accessory you get some pretty cool pictures as well. Bridal gloves. Again, an accessory you may or may not want to incorporate into your wedding attire. Let's discuss the importance and history of the bridal gloves so you can make your own decision from there. Traditionally, gloves represented a sign of status and power. Out of respect, they would be worn at all formal and traditional functions, particularly by royalty. They added a level of formality to the wedding ceremony and reception. But after the 14th century and Renaissance era, they became more of a fashion statement and personal style. If you choose to wear gloves with your gown, you can get them in lots of different fabric options and lengths. Keeping in mind, the higher the glove, the more formal the event, and they should enhance your dress, not overpower it. A couple quote-unquote rules to wearing gloves is you should never eat or drink while wearing them or cut your cake in them, but you should wear them during your receiving line, any important dances, and once the formalities of the wedding are out of the way, you can feel free to remove them for the rest of the evening. Also, if you choose to wear gloves during your ceremony, you'll want to remove the glove and hand it to your maid of honor for placement of your ring. 9 out of 10 times, it most likely will not fit over the glove. Please don't think if you don't wear gloves, your wedding will not be formal. This is just not the case. Nowadays, the only time you really see brides with gloves is at a black tie wedding or a very formal one. feel free to skip them if you don't want any formality, or feel free to wear them, perhaps fingerless ones, to help enhance your very own personal style. The accessory is totally optional and completely up to you. And speaking of optional accessories, sashes and belts fit right in that category as well. Most often, a sash or belt is only worn by the bride if the dress is a little plain at the waist, or she has a long torso and she wants to accentuate her curves. Then she may choose to accent it with a belt or sash. It is not a necessary accessory, and you can ask your bridal dress consultant if she thinks you may or may not need one with the dress you choose. But sometimes it totally makes your dress sparkle and gives it that last touch of elegance and shine. A purse is another accessory you may or may not choose to purchase, and it definitely is an optional accessory. Having a purse on your wedding day is good for carrying things like your checkbook for any outstanding balances, cash for any extra gratuities you may have overlooked, your ID and credit cards, some lipstick and powder to touch up your makeup, your cell phone, and even feminine hygiene products. Keep in mind, however, you can also choose, instead of carrying it around throughout the ceremony or reception, to bestow it on your maid of honor, parents, or a close friend or relative for safekeeping until you may need it. Although wedding day attire has definitely evolved over the centuries, one accessory that has remained the same is the wearing of a bridal veil. While most brides know it's a tradition to wear one, many do not know why, and many speculate that the reason for wearing a veil had to do with the Roman and Greek fear of evil spirits and demons, which is where many wedding traditions come from actually. It was believed that in order to frighten away or disguise the bride from evil spirits, the veil was worn to cover her face. However, because the veil prevented the bride from being able to see well, the tradition of being walked down the aisle was born to help the bride from bumping into anything or tripping. But that was not the only reason for the veil. It also served as a way of shielding the bride's face from her future husband, especially in the cases of arranged marriages at one time. Only superstition had it that it was bad luck for the groom to see the bride before the wedding, so wearing a veil to hide her face ensured the groom would not see his soon-to-be bride until the ceremony. The veil also came to symbolize modesty and obedience at one time in religious ceremonies, as it was a reverence for women to cover up their heads. But regardless if you choose to stick to tradition and wear a veil on your wedding day, have no fear, for there are many options for you to choose from. So I'd like to now go over and show you the most popular types and lengths of veils, and we'll start from the shortest and go through each style respectively. First, there is the blusher or birdcage veil, which is a very short veil that covers just the bride's face. Then we have the flyaway veil, that is a short veil that ends at the shoulders. With a fingertip veil, the veil reaches the bride's waist and ends of her fingertips. Then we move on to the chapel length veil, which follows the bride approximately 9 feet behind her, while the cathedral veil follows at around 12 feet. No matter what length or style you choose, there's just one important thing to remember about choosing your veil, and that's that it should coordinate with your gown, and you should choose your gown prior to choosing your veil. And if you're not sure, enlist the help of your bridal gown consultant to suggest a length that will complement your gown style. So now that we've discussed the bridal hair and accessories, let's move right along to the groom and his. Some accessories your groom may require is a wristwatch, a handkerchief, cufflinks, boutonniere, a tie or bow tie, a waistcoat, cummerbund, hats, and shoes. A wristwatch. I would say the first accessory any groom needs is a watch to be on time for the ceremony, but let's just say 93% of the time it's the bride we're waiting on. Although with today's technology and most people only wearing smartwatches, this is definitely an optional accessory, but whatever you do, don't forego a watch for your smartphone, because it's super awkward when looking at the groom and he's standing at the altar looking at his phone to see the time, but no one else knows that's what he's doing and they think he's just passing time playing a game on his phone. Trust me on this one. If your groom decides not to wear a watch, just make sure he's got his best man or groomsman to keep him abreast of the time. Now, I could give you the history of the handkerchief and pocket square, but I'm sure most of you will not really care and could Google it if you're really interested. Here's the main thing you need to know. One is for blow and the other one is for show. The pocket square goes in the jacket breast pocket and serves no use really but for show. It's much smaller than a handkerchief, which a man will use to blow his nose and should go in either the gentleman's front or back pocket or the inside pocket of their jacket after use. Cufflinks are items of jewelry that are used to secure the cuffs of dress shirts. Cufflinks can be manufactured from a variety of different materials such as glass, stone, leather, metal, precious metal, or a combination of these. Cufflinks are designed to use for shirts that have cuffs with buttonholes on both sides but no buttons. A boutonniere is a small single flower or the grouping of 2 or 3 flowers worn on the lapel of the groom and the other men in the ceremony. Boutonnieres are usually nowadays only worn on special occasions like weddings and proms. When it comes down to what to wear with his dress shirt, men generally have 3 options to choose from. A necktie, or simply a tie, is a long piece of cloth worn usually by men for decorative purposes around the neck, resting under the shirt collar and knotted at the throat. A cravat is a short, wide strip of fabric worn by men around the neck and tucked inside an open-necked shirt. A bow tie is a necktie in the form of a bow or a knot with 2 loops. There are typically 2 types of garments worn over a man's dress shirt and tie. The first is a waistcoat or vest, and the other is a cummerbund. The cummerbund is a wide band or sash for men worn around the waist, typically during a black tie event. Some grooms choose, when going formal or black tie, to wear a top hat to complete their look, or a nice fedora on the beach. And last but certainly not least, your groom will need a good pair of black dress shoes to round out his look for the ceremony and reception. For the guys and gals in your wedding party, some accessories they may need is, for the guys, a tie, waistcoat, top hat, handkerchief, and cufflinks. For your bridesmaids, jewelry, shoes, and hair accessories. The flower girl will need a basket and petals, and for the ring bearer, a pillow to hold the rings on. Some of my favorite places to purchase accessories are Etsy, David's Bridal, Icing, Light in the Box, and Nordstrom. Now let's go over what's trending in wedding attire and accessories. For the groom, herringbone pattern suits, tweeds, mauve, burgundy, and dark green suits, and for the brides, embroidered veils, pearls, statement earrings, black sashes, and floral headpieces. Now for some attire and accessory tips. Use Rent the Runway. Make whatever you can. Use Tradesy. Have your something borrowed be your jewelry. And you can borrow outfits for your bachelor party or your bridal shower to save some money. And that's going to do it for this lesson. Can't wait to see you in the next.